Hi, how y'all doing? It is Tuesday, August 6th, about 9:48 p.m. at the time of recording this video. No real updates on my foot. It seems to be doing okay. I have my first follow-up with my podiatrist after the hospital this coming Thursday, so that will be when I get an idea of how well it's come along since then. But for right now, it just is. My wound vac is in place and continuing to do its job. It's kind of gross, but it hopefully is helping the healing process. Tonight I thought I would talk a little bit about my thoughts about the rehab I'm in, as well as maybe tell a quick possible ghost story, since I said I would be trying to do stuff like that on here. So I've been in here since last Friday evening, and I was in here for a little over a month before that. And I made a few friends in here. I've always been one to get along better with people much older than me. So I find it easy to talk to elderly folks and just hang out with them. People my age tend to irritate me. I might have said that before. When I first got here and was just dealing with the loss of 3 toes, I was still really depressed and despondent, and I started talking to a lady down the hall from me, and we got to be good hallway chit-chat pals, and she ended up going home. But there was another lady that we would both talk to, call her Miss P, and she's here for good. And she had some issues adjusting to life here because she's 96 years old, and she drove and took care of herself up until last year. She's full of fire, and she's strong, but she did get to the point where she couldn't take care of herself, and I guess her family thought it would be better to put her here. I know some people, they don't have a choice. I mean, if it was me, I would do everything I could to make room for Grandma at my house, but that's me. So we got to chatting a lot. We sit out in the hall every day and chew the fat, about this and that and everything and nothing at all. And it makes the days go by better. I look down at my stump now and I get depressed and despondent all over again, but I can go out and talk to her, and it's better. It makes it easier. Takes my mind off of Stumpy. Then there's a gentleman I'll call Mr. J. He's 83. He's from New Jersey. And he used to play pool all the time up there, billiards. And I used to play billiards a lot too at the billiard hall on the island here in town. I was never all that good, but I enjoyed it. And it's been a while since I've done it, Divorce, cancer, depression takes takes the ginger out of the stuff you used to love to do. But the gym here has been out of order for quite some time because the air conditioning system is down for quite some time. So they moved some of the more pertinent equipment into the activities room, and we do physical therapy there. And they have a pool table in there. And one day, they had me and Mr. J in the activities room, and they were having us do hand-eye coordination exercises. So they were using the billiard table, and Mr. J had been at it for a while, and one of the nurses was helping him and kind of playing with him, against him, and she had no idea how to play pool, and she was just doing good to hit the ball, and Mr. J was mock frustrated at her, playing at her. But then I got up and hit one, and I made a good shot, and he was impressed, which filled me with a little bit of pride, because here I got this 83-year-old ex-pool ace impressed with my lowly shot. And he didn't have anybody else here to play with, so he asked me if I'd play a game with him. So a couple of nights later, we met up down there after hours, and we played a game, and he clobbered me. It was lots of fun, though, and I thoroughly enjoyed getting clobbered by this old ex-pool cat. And this was on towards when they were going to first discharge me, and I ended up going back to the hospital for this last surgery. But I already told Miss P that I would be coming back to visit her as often as I could. And I likewise told Mr. J that I'll be coming back to visit, and we'll catch a game every now and then. And he was real happy about that. So that was the plan. And now that I'm back in here, both Miss P and Mr. J were not happy that I was back, but excited that I was back, because I value their time, a lot of the younger folks that work here, they're good folks, good nurses, good techs, but they're here doing a job. And sometimes some of the residents feel ignored beyond their medical care. So I feel really good, being able to lift their spirits some, and it makes me feel good. Vice versa, they lift my spirits. So this evening I caught another game with Mr. J. I did better this time, but he still walloped me. And so now we're gonna meet down there every couple of days at 7:30 and play a game. Maybe eventually I'll win one. So that's good. It's a lot of fun, and it helps the time go by. I also met a lady in here today. I call Miss V, and she's really sweet. She's in her late 80s, and she's got some memory issues. She doesn't really remember how many families she has. She remembers 2 children that have passed away. We sit and talk, and she'll ask me how many kids I have and how old my son is multiple times within a 20-minute span. But I make sure I'm very, patient, and every time I tell her just like it's the first time. I couldn't imagine how hard that is, you know, losing your memories, knowing that there's something there but not being able to grasp it. I don't think I would be strong enough to deal with that on a day-to-day basis. But we still conversed for quite a long time, and I'm now going to be coming back to visit her. I've got to make a list. And visiting and chatting every day that I'm here. It's tough being here and seeing these people day in and day out, what they're going through. It's heartening, but it's sobering and it's sad, because there's so many people in here that, you know, they don't remember their family, or they don't have anybody. Nobody comes to visit them. Miss Verna said she can't think of who comes to visit her or if. So I told her I'll be coming back to visit her. She probably won't remember that, but that's okay. Again, it's something that, you know, I don't know if I could do. I mean, when I'm that old, if I live to be that old, at the rate I'm going, it's doubtful. I guess it's something I'll have to deal with when I get there, but right now, looking at it, you know, it's really hard what people go through towards their twilight years. I don't think it's right a lot of times, you know. But it can't be helped. Most of them are here because they have to be. Some of them are probably here because their family just doesn't want to deal with them, and that is beyond wrong, but nothing I can do about it, I guess. So anyway, on to my little paranormal experience here, and the one that I'm going to talk about was here. It was back the first time I was here, a little over a month ago. They have a really nice central courtyard that you can go out to 24/7. I don't sleep good. I sleep worse when I'm not at home. So I'm up at all hours. I'm wandering the halls, and I like to go sit outside at night after dark. It's not as cool. It's not as hot. It's not as humid, and I like to just sit out there and listen to the crickets and the frogs talk. I sit out there for hours sometimes. It's a good sized courtyard, and they've got this large planter towards one end of the courtyard that I like to sit next to. And there's 4 entrances at the 4 corners of the courtyard that you can get in and out of the building. There's no exterior access from the courtyard. Down towards one end of the building, they've got automatic doors, so it makes it easy to go out with a wheelchair. The other 2 entrances in this section don't have automatic doors. They're further away from my room. And then the last entrance goes into the assisted living side, which I don't really deal with. But anyway, I went out there one night, and it was probably about 11 o'clock, 11:15 or so. And it was very dark, and I was in my wheelchair, and I was rolling towards my favorite spot, and I heard someone humming, It was an old lullaby. I know I've heard it before, but I still cannot put my finger on it. It was very, very sweet, very pretty, and it sounded like a young lady. So I thought maybe it was one of the nurses or the night techs. And as I rolled my chair towards the planter, I was preparing to excuse myself and apologize for interrupting, and I was going to go past it and find another spot to sit since she was evidently taking a break there. And I got up by the planter, and the humming continued, but there was no one there. So I sat there for a few seconds and looked around, and it sounded as though the person doing the humming was on the opposite side of the planter from me, and there's this really large bush in the planter, so you can't really see the other side. So I casually, carefully rolled my chair around the planter, and there was no one there. And it sounded as though as I went around the planter, so did the hummer, so that we were always parallel from each other across the planter, but no one was there. And the humming continued, and it continued as though it was a recording. I mean, there was no hitches, no breaks, like there might be with someone stepping around in a big circle in the dark. And I went around one more time, and the hummer continued to go around the planter, but there was very definitely no one there. So I excused myself, and I apologized for interrupting and being a bother, and I found the walkway to take me over towards the other side of the courtyard, and I bid a good evening to whoever was humming. It was still there. It was very clear. So I turned my wheelchair around and went to roll away, and as I did that, the humming stopped, but it didn't stop dead. It was very weird. It almost sounded like it fell away or drifted up, but it was there, and then it diminished away from me rather quickly, and then it was just silent. And like I said before, I've always had a deep interest in the paranormal, and I have had a few experiences before because I have purposely sought them out. Whether any of you choose to believe that or accept it, that is entirely up to you. I know a lot of people do not believe in that subject, and that's quite all right. I do. Something I've got some experience with, which is why it's one of the things I want to talk about on my channel, because it's something I can do that's at least somewhat interesting. So yeah, that was my most likely ghostly experience here at the rehab that I had a few weeks ago. I still go out there, and I have not heard the humming again. I hope I have not run off whoever, whatever. If anything else occurs, I'll talk about it here, and as I go, I'll talk about some prior experiences I've had. Me and some of my friends, my ex-wife, have had some really interesting, intense experiences with it. So we'll get into that later on. But that's my rehab ghost story. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you got any loved ones in a nursing home, make sure you spend time with them. I know life is hard and it's busy, but make time wherever you can, because they need you. And you're going to realize just how much you needed them after they've moved on. And you don't want to not have spent time with them as much as you could before it happened. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel guilty. And you don't want them to cross over wondering where you were. So if you've got loved ones in a nursing home, please make time for them. Go visit them. Talk to them. Even if they don't remember you or know who you are. I know that is hard, but please do it. It's not only going to be good for their souls, but it's going to be good for yours. Y'all have a great night. Bye-bye.